Yes. I'm assuming it's my turn now.
Yes,
Or
it's
is
you.
Yeah,
Tanks,
does
it
go.
is.
Quick sending? I was just no. I was gonna say that is Quick's done with
Yeah,
what
I'm
he
Oh, I
done.
has.
don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I think what Tank was enough. Anyway, you go.
Okay. So for tank, I do feel like there's some tanks that overall dominate uh, the meta right now. Like I would say Reinhardt's pretty strong up there. Ramontra. I want to say Dari and Sigma as well. That could be me personally. But there are some tanks who do need more attention, especially since now there's only one tank in Overwatch 2. Like for instance, Winston needs help the most because there are a lot of characters to counteract Winston, and plus his damage is not probably not the best in terms like every character. Wrecking
I
Ball.
will say if I
Okay,
can
go.
interject real quick, because you were saying I don't know who might be at the top. I will say
Yeah.
most pro league and top 500 is usually Sigma,
Yeah, that's why I
Winston,
said Sigma.
and Zarya,
That could probably be because I am
and
only in
Orisa,
diamond.
obviously.
Like I am only
But
in
yeah,
diamond and yeah, but I feel like Winston overall like he's strong, but compared to other things, they're much stronger. Especially if what the enemy has. And also, and for Wrecking Ball, well, Initials need to be deleted overall. Let's be honest. That character is fucking annoying. No one likes this little shit. There's one person here who likes the character, and I'm not gonna point fingers on him, Colt. But that character obviously is annoying. Nobody liked him in Overwatch 1, and definitely nobody likes him still in Overwatch 2. The fucking rodent is goddamn annoying, but I'm okay. My rant's over. Um, for Doof, for other characters like Doomfist, I don't know what they could do with him essentially, because I know majority of people want him to be a DPS back, but they would have to do a lot of reworks because this where what he has right now. I just don't know what they could do with Doomfist at the moment. Probably maybe it's up his damage. I don't know. I guess. I mean, Junker Queen. Like, it's hard for Junker Queen, like, cause she's she's strong when it comes to damage, but my God, she's somewhat squishy. I don't know if that's true or not, King. Can you vouch for that?
since she has no overall sustainability, she's very dependent upon her supports. Because obviously, if she gets caught, or if you get caught using your shout in the wrong spot to either advance
Yeah, her
or
dam.
sustain, and you can't get your bleed up because of Suzu, whatever it might be, to negate your stuff, you will die in half a second because you
Yeah,
have no sustainability outside of bleed and your shout.
yeah. Junker Queen definitely is the stronger offensive one, but when it comes to defense, it's somewhat lacking personally. For healers, I feel like people need to stop with this nerf mercy bullshit. Like, I
I agree.
don't think she needs any more nerfs to her what she has already. Does she need some bumps? Maybe. I don't know where to do because, like I said, whenever people touch mercy, it's always, oh, this is good. But as majority, this is always, no, this change sucks. But the biggest support that needs the most change as of right now is Alari. I do think her, like Cole said, her damage is ridiculous. There were changes to this season, but the change was her secondary with her healing. It was not the pylon range or the healing. That stayed the same. Her damage stayed the same. And like what Cole said, yes, she is mostly of the DPS variety than she is support. I mean, she is a good support, but I feel like most of her support comes from the pylon and less of her gun. Uh, like King said about Kiriko, I do think there needs to be rework with the Suzu. Like, but I just don't know what exactly. I do exactly for that. I think Lucio, Baptiste, Anna. I think they are fine at the moment. Maybe, as well as Zenyatta. I do think the Discorder might need a little nerf. Cause it does like, well, I don't know for sure. Like I said, I'm saying I don't know for sure. I'm not a fucking designer for games or mechanics. I just think that there are definitely some changes to the heroes. Uh, mo- I think that's overall what I think of as of right now. I don't can't think of any changes as a DPS right now. Well, besides what I said for Bastion beforehand, but
Okay. So I guess I'll piggyback on the tank part of it, and then I kind of want to visit the Ilari thing real quick, and then we'll go to Cole for a bit more tank. And kind of like harp back what I said in the intro was that most of the tanks that were grandfathered into Overwatch 2 only worked at a high level in Overwatch 1. Because outside of like the London Spitfire, Super, and fucking Cloudy, no one can use Reinhardt. And I love you for you to find three people who are just regular metal ranks or anything that can use Reinhardt to a high ability that's not just holding a shield while the DPS and support do everything through it and you just hold corners. I think his autonomy is completely just they basically castrated him in 5v5 because his kit just doesn't work for it. Especially with the CC and the Suzu and all the other crap that's in Overwatch 2 that wasn't in Overwatch 1. But that's just me being like, I miss Ryan Zarya. But
yeah, it was a nasty
um,
combo.
there's at least I'm gonna say at least three tanks that don't have ults. Not Zarya. Wrecking Ball, Diva, and Doomfist. Their ults are all negligible to shit. The Wrecking Ball ult, if you die to that, you're really stupid most of the time. Because
Yeah,
there's giant floating death balls that. How did you miss that? Doomfist ult, unless you're underneath his fist, does almost no damage. It gives you charge punch, yes, but at least for myself, I usually miss that charge punch. And then all of a sudden I get no utility out of the ult. How I think this can be fixed without, I mean, it's probably going to end up broken, but add a slow to when he lands. So that even if he misses you, he doesn't completely miss you. As long as you're in the range of his ult and not breaking LOS, it should add a slow. I'm not saying stun, but add a slow.
like
So
wait, like
that way,
slow where?
so you know how originally
Like I was gonna
his slam
say he,
had a slow?
yeah,
So add that to a lesser degree to his ult.
okay. I was gonna say,
He
doesn't he
already has that
kind of
effect.
have that?
He doesn't have a slow
I,
when he ult. When he hits the ground?
well,
When
when
he
he
hits the
punches,
ground, depending on how far away you are from the initial center impact,
No,
you'll
but
get a
that's what I'm
varying
saying.
degree of slow.
Add it to the whole shrink the size of the ult, add more damage to initial impact, and add a slow to the ring of the ult. As long as you are in LOS, it should slow you down. So that way, even if you ult into a backline, you can also have the ability to get out slash confirm the kills that you should be getting anyway. Because as a dive tank, he's terrible at diving. Like Doom is very dependent upon who his DPS are. He needs like a Sojourn, a Genji. I would say he needs a Genji. He needs something to poke damage or
yeah,
confirm kills, like anything, because his damage is negligible. Because outside of getting the combos of slam, block, charge punch into wall, and then hit your headies, I know obviously that the ceiling for Doomfist is obviously leagues above anywhere that probably any of us have ever touched. Obviously, the Zebras, the Chipses, Quake Dawn. Like these are like the apex of what Tankfist slash Doomfist is. And as far as moving him back to the DPS role, if they move him back to the DPS role, he is going to break the game. I will say that for sure. when there's one tank and all he did in Overwatch 1 was punish tanks, he's going to be the second tank in a 5v5.
Yeah, that's why I think people who want him DPS was like, are you sure it's a good idea?
Like that is not good for the landscape of the game. That will burn this game to the ground if they move Doomfist back to
I mean,
DPS and then give his
keep in
old
mind,
kit back.
keep in mind, well, and I don't know if this is actually a true one, but Reinhardt did get like a, and I don't think this was in Overwatch 1, he did get like a buff where any knockback is reduced for him, and I don't think any other character has that.
Now it's a
They
tank
made it the
passive.
tank passive. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't and
But
I
beforehand in Overwatch 1, that was an exclusive Reinhardt thing.
yeah, which makes sense. He's 7'6", 380 pounds
Well,
German soldier in armor. He shouldn't be knocked back.
yeah, because all these other characters have much more mobility than what Reinhardt did. Because
Yeah, because
Reinhardt,
obviously Overwatch 1 Reinhardt is charge in, if you miss, you're dead. Versus now you
yes.
have the stop so you can open up shatters,
Now, now
protect
Reinhardt is
people.
in a much better spot than he was in
Yes.
Overwatch 1.
But I don't think he's fully flexed into an Overwatch 5 solo tank role. I think he still
Yes.
needs more changes. But in any event, let me not get onto that a little bit too much. Um, Orisa, we haven't talked about it, but Orisa is the bane of the tank role. I'm not saying that she needs to be removed, but the
She
fact
like
that
the number one
she
tank.
is I'm losing the tank battle, let me go Orisa. That can't be what she is.
She is the bastion of the tank
Yeah,
role.
she's the bastion of tank role. All she does is tank bust, which I'm not saying you can't have that, but she does it way too well on a consistent basis for the average player. Obviously, on the higher levels and top 100, all that kind of jazz, Orisa can be countered. There are um, people who play other roles, even Doomfist, Reinhardt, the things that she shouldn't, that she's a counter to, can still body her. Because I've gone against a decent amount of Orissas as Doomfist and still been fine. It sucks getting CC to all hell, but I can still make it work.
I would argue the same thing for Orisa when she was introduced in Overwatch 1. Like, she was also very dominant in the tank in that one as well. Cause she was a much better Reinhardt
Yeah.
overall in that game.
Yeah, a lot of people think that their adding of Orisa was the beginning of the end for Overwatch 1, to be fair.
That was mostly Brig, let's be honest.
Well, yeah, outside of the I didn't even play Overwatch 1 when that happened, so that I can only give that to you guys because you guys I think were still playing Overwatch when Brig came out.
Yeah, and well, people also think Brig are the double shield
Yeah,
for
double
the
shield slash
console.
Brig were the beginning of the end of Overwatch 1. But in any event, um, yeah, there's some tanks that need to be changed. Um, I will say as far as Alari goes for the support, she does too much damage, yes, obviously. Her turret needs to have a cooldown. Not a cooldown, excuse me. A time limit. It can't be up forever. And it doesn't need armor. It it doesn't. It never needed it. It doesn't need to be buffed or changed. It just needs to have straight up health so that if it gets low, it stays low. Versus like you shoot it a few times and then the armor comes back because you have to worry about other people shooting you while you shoot it. It should have 100 health tops, maybe even 75. And you can still place it in all the weird ways you can, but it should have 75 straight up or 100 straight up, and then that health is finite. And it should run out maybe after 10 to 15 seconds,
Yeah,
and
the
then go
fact
on
that it
cooldown.
stays for like almost all match, unless you shoot it,
Yeah,
it's
unless she
good.
moves it or you shoot it, it can stay in one spot the entire game, and
It's
that's broken.
it's broken.
Because like just imagine if Immortality Field, like you could just toss it on the payload, and as long as they don't shoot it, it doesn't go away. So
Yeah,
like I
also
think
the
yeah, in
pylon.
the platform. I don't
It's
know about.
75
I'm not gonna
health
even
and
mention
50 shield.
Lifeweaver because
Do you
he
think
was
he did a
so
good
crap
thing?
when he got released that I think he needed all this stuff to be relevant. But
Yeah, his
he's a bit more oppressive now as far as an anti-dive support. To where like if they have a Lifeweaver, it's hard to play dive into that because at the very least two people are getting out of every dive
yes.
because of Alari's I mean not Alari, Lifeweaver's pull and his pedal platform. Two people are usually going to get out of every dive, which means that depending on who those two people are, your dive is now just you in their backline feeding, especially if you don't coordinate. But that's a discussion for another time. Cole, what are your views on the tank role? Since you play a
I would
decent amount of Reinhardt as well as Tank Fist.
I would say in order for Reinhardt to be good, they gotta
And
buff
they're
his.
fucking rat.
They got. Sorry. They gotta buff his swing speed, 100%. Give him his barriers for 1200 right now.
I believe so. It's 1200.
Do you think it should go back
Either
to its original?
His
no, I'd say
original,
at
well, his
least.
original was 2K, then it got nerfed to 16. Pretty
I
sure
would say give it back
16K.
to 16.
Not
I would
16K,
either say give him.
1600.
Yeah, yeah. Give it to 1600 or. I would say also give some of the tanks that have shields, give them armor as well. Wrecking Ball does need to be looked at more, though. I feel like his mines should be able to seek if you're within a certain range. Zarya, I don't know how we're feeling about Zarya, boys. What do you think? You think she needs to be reworked a little bit, or is she fine where she's
Uh,
at?
I think
I
she's
think she's
about as good as she
fine.
can be
Yeah.
without being overpowered.
Yeah.
Because I think Zarya is a very like her give is finite in any direction. She's either over OP, as Samito might put it, the flavor of the month tank, or she's dog shit and she can't be played by anybody.
Mhm.
There's
Yeah.
no like her middle ground is so small, in my opinion. And also, you your takes. Why the fuck would they have seeking minds for Wrecking Ball's alt?
Okay, so you know how like within you get like within like a close
I
proximity,
know
it
what a
automatically
seeking
detonates.
mine is. Why would they add that? You know how fucking broken that would be?
And Cole,
Okay, but like it's
keep
All
only
he
within
had
a
to do
certain
was alt a
range.
Cole,
control point and
keep
everybody's dead.
Okay,
keep
but
in
like
mind
give them less time to be up.
the higher he is up
Okay.
in the air, the more the bomb spreads. So I was like, that could be broken depending
Yeah, I was like,
how.
if he skyboxes the fucking drop on Antarctic Peninsula, you're just dead.
It's done.
On
No, okay,
Samoa, you're dead on most of those points. If he ults the
so
point.
take away his ability to have them anywhere, like they stay. They have to drop, but they seek only within a very small area, and they have
How
X amount of
But
small?
health.
no, but that's the thing. If because you're saying like if doesn't matter how high he is, have him have the same spread. But that would be
Yeah,
also be broken because that means you can just roll into point, have the same exact spread that you would if you were 10 feet in the air
yeah,
off the ground, and like it adds nothing. Like there's no point in dropping at that point. You just roll in alt, and then they'll just all die because they're all gonna get deleted if they seek.
yeah.
I think
True,
that
true.
at least for Wrecking Ball in particular, his adaptive shields need to be changed to add some kind of
Yeah.
damage to it. Because obviously, if you just drop into the middle of the team and you get chain CC'd, all that extra health isn't going to do anything for you.
Mhm.
So maybe add like a little, like a Tesla shock when he hits the ground, and make it like what's it called? Not like an EMP
Like a
grenade from Call of
disabling
Duty.
ability.
No, like make it so that you accidentally
Shock
shoot.
charge?
Yeah, like a shock charge. Essentially, just be like,
Yeah.
just like hit the ground, and then your adaptive shields, like anything within a certain range, just kind of like explode out like a Winston
Starting
Tesla,
effect.
and then just make people like shoot like 5 shots randomly, or just like jerk their aim or something like that. Like add some utility to the adaptive shields that isn't just roll in, drop, adaptive shield. Good thing I have those so I can roll away.
Mhm.
Because that's all you do with the adaptive shields. You drop in, get shields, and roll away. That's the only thing you do with that. Or you do it so you get a safe ult.
Yeah, that's mostly the style all Wrecking Ball players have. You
Yeah.
Yeah,
drop,
that's exactly
Like
you
how I
roll
add,
play.
give
Yeah.
away.
them more autonomy in 5v5. That's what like I don't think Wrecking Ball's a bad character. I think it's a lot like Doomfist. It's annoying to play against when they're good, but if they're not good, they're feeding. So if I would rather have more autonomy to Wrecking Ball so that it's not just a throw pick
Mhm.
if you don't know how to play the character.
You know what? I'm just gonna say it. Why don't we give all tanks a firing speed buff? I feel like a couple of tanks could benefit from it, but I feel like Orisa would need to be dialed back a little bit from the
Well,
firing speed buff.
she has the cooldown on her gun anyway.
Yeah.
That's
Why would
true.
why would you want to even have a firing increase? Why would you want that, dude?
Well, I mean, so because it would deal more damage, that would fix the damage problem. So the tanks would
Yeah, but
actually be
now
able to
the
do
power
something.
creep is there, and now everybody's whining about tanks. Like, I get if a diva dives me, I'm dead in a second
Yeah, exactly.
because
Yeah,
she has
That's true.
same with
shotguns
thing.
essentially.
Plus, that makes the motion with the rest of the combo like, oh, you throw spear and you shoot. They're usually much killed
Because I
quicker.
think Orisa spear into wall is 100
Yeah.
damage. I think it could be a little bit less. It could be a little bit more. But if you buff her firing speed at that point, you don't even
You're
have a chance
basically
to
dead.
react. By the time the stun has ended, you're dead.
Yeah.
So obviously it's still a skill shot, obviously, to hit the spear, but all of a sudden you don't have autonomy to get out of it. So there's not an outplay. It's either you get hit with the spear and die, or
Yeah,
they miss the spear and hopefully you can run away because that's about it. All you do from Marissa, you just run away from her.
Mhm.
Oh, and also add the headshot to Fortify. She shouldn't be able to not be headshot in Fortify. Wait, didn't they change that? She can be headshot in
I
Fortify now,
think they
right?
did.
Yeah.
No, she's
No,
still
no.
Nah.
invulnerable.
Yeah, she needs
I
to
think
be
they
able to be
should keep
headshot
it.
in
I think it was the hitbox of her head that was changed.
Oh, well, she needs to be able to be headshot in Fortify.
Or make her take less damage because I think they've been trying to
No,
dial that back.
her Fortify it is less damage, it's damage reduction. What do you mean?
No. But I'm saying like make her take like whatever it's at now, take it back more. Like let's say it's like 30, take it
Oh,
down
I
like
think
20 or
it's
25.
What's the
Isn't it
reduction?
50%
is it
now?
it's like 40%, I want to say. I just heard what it was too. It's like 40, 45. It's not like Ramatra
Mhm.
block, but it's
Yeah,
like close to it.
reduction is 45%.
Okay, look, what do you think? Like take it down to like 35?
That would probably be better, yeah. Oh yeah, speaking of Ramatra, we haven't spoken about him, but I think he's in a good spot, but I feel like his punch range could use some work. Now, I'm not saying to buff it or nerf it, but just I feel like there's sometimes his punches don't connect sometimes. I don't know if that's just a latency issue or just a me aiming skill problem, but there's definitely times where the punches are on the character and they just don't take any damage.
Maybe widen the berth of each little punch
Yeah,
instead of
I would say.
I
like
think the
any kind
mo
of damage or anything. Like widen the berth of it, kind of like a Doomfist charge punch, where like everybody within a certain cone is affected by the punch. So just like add a more of a wider
Splash
cone.
effect.
Yeah, like a splash. Yeah, I guess a splash effect, but more just like a wider cone to the punch, so where like it's hard to miss it essentially. It's harder to miss it, at least to get it. Like it's harder to not get any damage on a punch, versus like you just like you could punch just above their right shoulder, but they don't take any damage.
And you know what? Y'all can call me crazy, but I'm gonna say it.
you are though.
They need to make it where Diva's mech, when you throw it, different parts of the robot come off for different explosions.
What?
Because I
What?
feel like
No,
it's too much
That's
of a
a
no,
pointless.
no.
that's a lot
I
of
mean,
work to put
but
That's
that's just
gonna
my take.
break the
That's
game.
just my take.
Yeah.
You're just gonna die because the arm exploded next to you and you hid behind a wall, but it just it rounded the corner. No.
Well,
No.
since we're speaking like changes to characters, what are we thinking about this Roadhog rework?
Oh,
The
that's a good
Roadhog.
point. Okay, I think we
We
should probably start
will.
with the Sombra rework though.
Oh, no. We'll talk about that in a different one. This one's just
Okay,
balance
okay,
and
okay.
Oh
role
yeah. True.
specifics. And with that in
I wasn't
mind,
sure
we're
like how
actually,
much we were going into it.
yeah, we'll do that in another one. Right now, we'll go
Gotcha.
ahead and close out this one with remarks, how we feeling about the
Oh,
future.
like
Oh, go ahead,
something like
Nova.
we talked about Sombra. We didn't talk about like her changes at all. Like she's probably in the best position she's ever been before her changes or her reworks. It does need to be nerfed. I will say that, but she is in a much better position as a DPS now. Cause my God, you hack and throw that. I don't. I'm still getting accustomed
Virus.
to the name. Yeah, virus. You just automatically take out a switch that fast and escape easily, depending on how where you throw your where you
All
throw it
right,
at.
we'll get into this a little bit because I have probably a hot take on Sombra.
Ooh.
So
Pray
I'll
tell.
go.
Pray
I
tell.
will say this: if it is a projectile or a projection that isn't a being, EMP should delete it. It should be able to delete tree all the time.
I agree.
They shouldn't have taken that out. I think it was a balanced trade. You tree, I EMP, it's gone. We both don't have ults. I think that was a fair trade. The fact that you can EMP Orisa out of uh
Bro.
her ult, but you can't EMP tree. Nah, you should be able to
Yeah.
EMP shield too, Sim shield.
Oh no, you
I
can,
think.
can't you?
I don't know if you can,
I'm pretty sure you can.
because you
Anyways, sorry.
can't, because EMP hits through any shield, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, but I'm saying like it should break if it does, if it hits through the shield and the shield's still up, that shouldn't be it. It should delete the shield.
Mhm.
Especially since it's technology based. Yeah, it should just
Yeah, I
disrupt
think
it.
that anything that's a projection should be deleted.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Like I think she can EMP away a Maze ult.
She can.
She should, her hack should last less on Bob than EMP should. I will say that as far as Ash goes, because Bob is her ult. You shouldn't be able to hack it, and it's just useless for that entire time. I think Bob is up 6 to 8 seconds. I think a regular hack should be 3 seconds, and you can't rehack him. And EMP should take him out immediately. He should just be there, just a body.
Disabled.
Yeah,
Unplayable.
disabled. Because like I said, like ult for ult. If I EMP, it should delete anything you do.
Mhm.
Because otherwise, it's like, oh, I EMP'd, but they treed. Or they have tree, so my EMP is not going to do anything because they're getting pumped out healing 200 a second or whatever it is from the tree. So I agree with Nova. Like I think she's in a very good spot, and she it's forcing people to play her differently, which is also getting a new player base to use Sombra, and she's not that, oh great, they just went Sombra because you're folding them. Like the patented, I'm losing so I go Sim, Torbjorn, not Torbjorn, Bastion or Sombra. Just like, oh, I'm losing the tank gap, I'm going Orisa. Oh, I'm getting dive too much, I'm going Moira, or I'm going Brig or whatever. Like it's only autonomous for you, and you don't care about the team at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she's stopped being that pick with this change. And I think her kill potential, like her ability to actually solo kill is much higher now than it was before. With the hack of Iris, she goes into stealth faster from when she throws her translocator. And then also the ability to see where you'll be detected from. Did
No way, just kicked us all out.
it just kicked us
Yeah,
all out, didn't it?
there was a notification saying
Yeah, it
game's too
did.
long. Game's too
Oh
long.
crap.
I'm gonna shut down.
Okay,
Well,
hold on. We'll be right back. Technical difficulties aside, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this episode. go ahead with closing remarks. I'll let Nova have the floor. Actually, I'll let Twix have the floor first. Any last thoughts, last sayings,
Oh,
remarks on everything we've talked about?
I just thought of something for the Kiriko issue you're having about. So what if for Kiriko, because I heard you complain about her Suzu make you impervious to damage for like ARB, against you. Does she still have that like slight boop ability when she uses Suzu on an enemy,
No,
or is that
that they
gone?
took that out.
Okay. Okay.
I I was gonna say, are you talking about like
The little
uh,
boop when she threw out the Suzu, they took that out.
yeah.
What if for Suzu? What if they only use that for debuffs and a slight heal, but take away the invulnerability?
So essentially, it
What
only
was that?
worked on you if you're antied or stunned.
Or Sunstruck, yeah, like anything like that. How would you feel on that? But it took away the invulnerability.
I guess that kind of it makes the ability more a little bit too niche for a kit, I think. I think it's a step in the right direction, but it takes away to like if they don't have Honor or Junker Queen, then why are you picking Kiriko? You know what I mean?
Oh,
Because it would almost limit Kiriko to certain
You can almost say the same thing for
opposition
Reinhardt as
team
well.
comps. Or yeah, or Reinhardt. Basically like because other than Reinhardt stun, like Shatter obviously, Junker Queen ult, Ana anti, Alari Sunstruck, or EMP, I would say, like hack.
Maybe Diva
Is there
Bomb.
another ability in the game that Suzu gets you out of? Or like that particular type of Suzu would be useful
You can
for?
you can
Mazal?
also argue the Diva Bomb as well.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, but using it for default isn't a debuff. That's just damage. So it wouldn't
Yeah.
counteract a default.
Okay, if we're talking about debuffs, yes. If we're talking about
Yeah,
survivability, that's
because
different.
Twix was saying debuffs and antis.
Hinder.
Yeah, my bottom.
Yeah, so it would Suzy you out of hinder, any stun. Maze ult
Mazal?
isn't
Yeah.
May ult, but I feel like it would have to be when you're frozen. You'd
I
have
was
to
like,
throw it the
can you get
moment you're
out of that
frozen.
if you're in the center of that?
Hmm.
If you get frozen solid in the center,
Yeah, like if you're in like in the center of a male and someone seizes you, can you still get out in time?
I think you
If you
can.
teleport, maybe?
No, I think he means like if let's say you're in the mid like at US
Oh,
Fairs
okay.
in the middle of a Mayalt and they Suzu you, are you able to get out before the Mayalt runs out, or do you just get frozen again?
I think you
I think you
can.
should be able
Pretty
to.
sure.
Yeah, no, I think you
Yeah.
do get out. I think.
But then also like that's not a debuff. It's not a debuff until you get frozen solid, in my
Yeah.
I mean,
opinion.
like
You're
you are being
slowed,
slowed.
but that's not a debuff. It's a thing of the ult.
Wouldn't it technically also count as being like hindered, quote unquote? And hindered is a debuff.
Yeah, hindered is a debuff, but that shows up on your screen. When you're frozen, it shows up on your screen. That's what I'm saying. Like that would be the debuff. The slow into freezing is just a part of the ult.
Okay. Gotcha.
So like I would say like the Suzu would then be it would be useless up until being frozen. And then it would just work like a normal Suzu. So it would just be like boom and then you're like, "Oh, I'm free." And then you shield up and do whatever you want. Fly away, whatever it happens to be. I think that is like I said a step in the right direction. But yeah, let's continue with your closing thoughts.
Also, for like Winston, like I think he needs like a new, like a weapon rework. I think because he's not very viable. Like Leap is cool, Bubble Shield is sometimes useful. That's pretty much all he has besides his Primal Rage. But I think his weapon needs a complete like rework. Don't you think?
As
Like
someone
more
who plays Winston, I
projectiles.
think he's fine, to be fair.
Okay.
I think what he does and what he works for that. He's a dive tank, he works for dive. If you know how to play him into the dive and you have the right supports and stuff like that, he can kind of brawl. in the mirror match a little bit. Obviously, he's a little bit niche against like obviously a Reinhardt or whatever, just pushing him into his face. But I think that for what Winston does, he does it well. He doesn't do it too well to where he's oppressive. He doesn't suck at it so that he's a throw pick. He's a good balance. Like a lot of people would say, like when Winston's good, the health of the game is good. But when Winston is up,
Like I don't
broken
think
in the
he's gonna
wrong
get the
way,
like I don't think he's gonna get the elims the most out of everyone, depending on
no, I
how.
think yeah, which is why he's good in dive because obviously the Genji, Sojourn soldiers, to a lesser extent, Pharahs, if they're running pharmacy with a dive, be
Yeah,
weird, but it could be, it's
every time I play
possible.
Winston like competitive, people say, "Bro, switch. Your elims are dog shit." Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
Winston
like
is not the
you're
character to
probably not
have the
gonna.
elims.
Most of your
And
job is displacement.
and if you are playing Winston and you have the most elims from your DPS, then the DPS is doing something wrong.
Yeah, it probably just means they're playing poke with your dive instead of just straight up dive. But in any event, okay, Winston rework possibility. Anything else?
Fortify, do you think it needs like a slight nerf, you would say? Because I think it's
Well, we were
Fortify
asking
is
like,
only
oh,
for Orisa, and Orisa needs a nerf, so I will say yes.
yeah,
the only thing we want in Fortify is basically to able to headshot the character.
which is okay. That's fine with
Yeah,
that.
which is basically a nerf, but since Fortify
And we,
only is only with Orisa, yes, it needs to be nerfed.
I can't speak on Wrecking Ball. I mean, we barely see it, but still, I mean,
I already said my piece.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
but anything else
unfortunately, just
on
speak on that character again.
health of the game, overall experience? Just basically just closing remarks, synopsis.
Uh, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I have to say. It's yeah, just yeah.
All right, Cole.
Honestly,
Do not mention the
for
fucking Bastion fire rate.
no,
Or
no,
the
no, it
Wrecking
wasn't.
Ball striking mines now.
No, I would say that as annoying as it is, I feel like some stuns in this game should come back. Not necessarily McCree stun, but I think
All
they
right,
should
moving
probably
on. Nova, go ahead.
Moving
This
on.
guy's
Okay.
I was gonna say increase right
this
head
guy's
stuns,
vying for
brother.
CC. Get the fuck out of here.
You said bring all stunts. That
No,
doesn't
I said
I can't wait till
some.
we
Bring
play and you
some.
get. I can't wait till we play and you get hindered, speared,
CC'd. Yeah.
rocked, everything.
Are you gonna add that reaction at the end?
Yes,
Your
obviously.
video?
Kind of
Alright,
dog shit
perfect,
take.
perfect.
Let's add more CC.
Yeah, let's not make Reinhardt viable anymore
Yeah,
again.
let's just
Okay.
delete Reinhardt from the game.
You know what? Give him 3 fire strikes that all do 100 damage. Oh, that will fix it.
You're just
I'm fucking
anyway.
joking.
Nova,
Okay.
just go.
Yeah.
I think overall I think Overwatch needs to give more love to certain characters besides like the ones that are. Yes, obviously they need to like focus on characters that are dominating the meta, but I feel like they mostly focus on characters. Okay, these characters are too overpowered, therefore we need to nerf them. Instead of like going for like other characters, like maybe we need to put more love so that way these characters get played more. Like I feel like there are other characters that need a little bit more love. And like I say for example, maybe this is probably for me personally. I think Echo, I feel like her ult is probably not viable, especially if you choose a tank. You just mostly die easily with that.
True.
Echo is like all you need to go for support or DPS, but
Yeah, that
I
makes
think
sense.
that yeah, I do think yes, there are characters that need to be buffed, but I think there's also characters that need more attention for buffs. And yeah, I think that's overall what I think of it right now.
Gotcha. All right. At least for me personally, I enjoy the game. This isn't coming from a place
Oh
of
yeah.
hate. I enjoy playing this
No,
game with my
we don't
friends.
really necessarily hate the game.
Yeah, we just
It's a
at
hit and
least I
like,
can't speak for everybody, but I just want the game to be good and have a good lifespan and be able to not be as oppressive as it is now. to play anything that's not support, essentially. I think we've spoken about the reworks, buffs, and nerfs, and whatever came out of this soldier's mouth over here.
So,
And I'd love to hear back from you guys in the comment section. What was good? What was bad? What do you think should be changed? But in any event, until next time, see ya.
Sugar, they got my velocity. Bow, not